In today's video, I want to show you how to achieve a really nice aged look to your papers. Now this one is folded up in the classic way that they used to fold them in the 1800s. This is a letter that is to Jane Austen. It's a love letter, and I have added a wax seal. Now normally in those days the wax seal would have been melted on there, but I want to be able to open it up and have the recipient also open it up. So here is the same letter. It is just printed on plain copy paper. So what we're going to do to start out with is to tear it down using my tear ruler. Then the next thing we're going to do is wad it up and put a lot of wrinkles into it. And then we're going to open it back up and wad it up again. Now, on the back where there's a lot of those wrinkles, I'm going to take my vintage photo and just put a little bit of ink here and there. And I'm also going to do it in the front. And then, because there's a little bit of black here and there, I'm going to also take a sponge dauber and put a little bit of my basic black over here. And there may still be a little bit on there, yes. So and I'm just going to kind of go around here toward the edges. And then this is something that you're going to have to be extremely careful with. And make sure you have a spray bottle of water next to you. But we're just going to burn a little bit of the edges. And I'm just real quick taking the flame over it. And again, if it gets too burnt, use your bottle of water. And I'm not burning myself there. Okay, then I'm going to tear it inward and roll the paper up. And I'm just going to use just my little tool picker here and roll that up. So so that the paper is curled. And I'm going to do that in a couple of spots where there is no writing. Well, how is everybody doing today? I hope you're getting some crafting time in. I bet I was scaring you with that lighter. It reminds me of a story when I was growing up. My sisters and I snuck my mother's cigarettes, and we, were smoking. We were probably 9 or 10 years old. She caught us, and to punish us, she brought us into the kitchen, and she set us down, and she made us smoke a cigarette after a cigarette after a cigarette. And she even said, when we were just puffing on it and blowing out the smoke, she said, "Oh, no, you need to take in a big, deep breath with that cigarette." Well, needless to say, we got sick as dogs, and to this day, we don't smoke. She definitely cured us of ever wanting to smoke cigarettes. That reminded me of that story. Okay, I think that's good. And then I'm going to take a baby wipe and wipe that up. And now I'm going to spray the back to get rid of some of that white with my coffee. And I'm going to dry it real quick because it sometimes makes the ink from my printer bleed. So I'm going to dry it with my heat gun here. Okay, that has dried nicely, and I like the way that it kind of discolored the edges of the front, but I'm still not real happy with the back. So I'm going to take some of my soft suede ink and a blending brush and just run it over the back just to blend that out a little bit better. Yeah, I'm liking that much better now. Yeah, much better here. And bring it even into the front of it a little bit. Okay, now let's wrinkle it up again. Now, to me, that is a big difference from the way it was before. That is looking very, very aged and tethered and torn. And I did a little bit of research, and there was a certain way that they folded letters then. And let me clean this off in my hands, and then we'll fold it. Now, before I fold it, let's pretend that this gentleman who wrote this letter was of some significant wealth. So let's just add a little bit of gold on the edge of the letter, because he could afford really fine paper. And this is the let me turn it over for you, the Pentar Gold wax paste. And we're just going to put it in a couple of spots, but you'll be able to see it. So I want to tie this like I did this one, but I want to color this string. So I'm going to use some of my gilding paste once again I'm going to run it through 2 fingers and bring it down and try to color this a little bit gold. And I think it's working because I don't have any gold string right now that's this thin. And it's actually just kind of aging it. So that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Just kind of try to get those edges. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now like I said, I did do a little research on how specifically they used to fold their letters and seal them because they didn't have envelopes. Paper was very expensive, so they used to just use the letter itself as somewhat of an envelope. And so they had to fold it in because they didn't want whoever was delivering the letter to read what was inside. So they folded both sides in, and then they folded it up in thirds. And then this side down. And then they would put the seal on it. And then only when the seal was broken would somebody be able to read what was in it. So on this one, what I'm going to do, because I want to be able to let the recipient of the journal look in here, I'm going to only half glue the seal down. So let's see, do I want it like that? No, like that. I wish that had been up a little bit. Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter because everything is so crinkle and folded. It doesn't matter if there's a different fold in there. We're going to go up like that, there, and then down like that. There we go, because I want the seal more in the middle instead of way down in the bottom. Okay, yeah, much better. And I did do some wax seals, and let's see which ones I like. Well, let's see, we have a red one. That was a pretty common color back then. Then I added some seed beads to this one. That's kind of cool because it brings out the gold in the back. I like that. And then I have some green ones that are leaves. I wanted something fairly masculine. That one's pretty too, the gold. I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm only going to put glue in on the top half side. Had to find out where my beacons was. So only glue here, and then I'm going to lay down the string just over that. And then lay this on that top area. And then that way, when that dries, I will be able to fold the string around and close this envelope or this letter. Okay, this is dried now, and as I'm able to wrap it around my letter like it would be sealed in the 1800s, that would be how the letter is delivered to the recipient. And now let's open it up and take a look at it. And there's our letter to Jane Austen. And I must admit, I like it better than my original. Let's open up the original and put it close by. I think it's still a nice letter and addition to a journal, but I think I like this one better. So I added coffee here, which I didn't before. I added the gold waste packs, paste, wax, oh my gosh, wax paste. I did a little bit more coloring on the back. Yeah, I think I like this one better. But anyway, so that's you know, everything with what we do with crafting. This was the first time I used these products on this letter. The wax paste and putting coffee on it and putting the seed beads on the seal and coloring the thread. So make sure you do that when you are working on journals. Just try different things out. If it doesn't work, then use it on a different project or toss it and start all over again. But anyway, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope this gives you some inspiration on how to age letters to put into your journals. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.